So here goes the B-17 then rolling. That'll be returning to us shortly. The first time that aircraft has been with us at Yeovilton for 16 years. What a beautiful sight against those dark clouds. This is now Europe's only remaining B-17 in airworthy condition. Sally B acts as a flying memorial to the circa 79,000 Allied airmen who were killed in the European theatre of operations in World War II, 27,000 of whom belonged to the US 8th Air Force alone. And in the European theatre, it was the 8th Air Force that flew the B-17s and B-24 Liberators on those enormously hazardous daylight raids over occupied Europe. The 8th Air Force largely based in East Anglia, and around 2,000 of the B-17s and B-24s that flew from those parts between 1942 and 1945 were lost. It's no wonder this aircraft operator, Ellie Sallingbow, describes Sally B as a living piece of our national heritage that must be preserved for the enjoyment and education of today's and future generations. This aircraft has been performing that role since it was brought to the UK in 1975. It's been a TV and film star many times, not least in the Catherine Weiler and David Putnam adaptation of Memphis Belle, and it's featured in many important commemorative displays and flypasts. The fact it's achieved all of this is incredible when you consider that operating an aircraft like this in private hands is such an expensive thing. Ellie and her team have continued doing that despite numerous industrial targets. The survivability of the heavy bombers, the B-17s and B-24s, improved when longer-range escort fighters, the likes of the P-47 Thunderbolt and the P-51 Mustang, became available that were able to accompany the bombers all the way to their targets, but losses were still grievous, not least to the danger of flak, and the chances of those crews completing their full combat tour of 25 missions were very low indeed. This was despite how tough an airfreight the B-17 was. These aircraft would return from missions with incredible amounts of battle damage, yet still they were able to fly. Conditions on board the heavy bombers on those raids up at altitude were really pretty hellish. It was noisy, it was cold, there was little in the way of armour plating or personal protective equipment to protect the crews, and that was before you even came to the threat of enemy action from fighters and flak. To that development because the being dropped. That experience showed that the B-17 needed better defensive armament, a larger bomb load, and better bomb aiming equipment. All of those were on the B-17s that started to come to Europe for operation by the 8th Air Force in 1942. Nowadays, the number of surviving veterans of those, as with so many other wartime operations, is gradually dwindling. Hence the need evermore to helped by the worldwide members of the Sally B Supporters Club, around 6,000 of them, all around the world. All their funds go towards Sally B and its continued preservation in Britain as a flying memorial to the 98th and the rest of the Allied heavy bombing effort during World War II. In Ellie Sallingbo's words, the aircraft's mission is to pay tribute to those who gave their lives for the freedom of Europe, a sacrifice that must never be forgotten. Sally B itself, as I said, a B-17G model that was built by the Lockheed Vega plant in Burbank, California. It was delivered to the US Army Air Force in June 19... You can find out more about the Supporters Club and join up yourself at www.sallyb.org.uk, where there's much more information on the aeroplane. There are many benefits of membership, an excellent regular magazine, you get free guided tours of Sally B and so forth. You can also buy merchandise via the website, and it all goes towards keeping this aircraft going. None of us would want to see it lost from the scene. Now positioning on finals to land. And there it is, touching gently down. Captained today by Dutchman KLM Captain Peter Kuipers. He's a superb exponent of multi-engined historic aircraft.